What we're witnessing right now in Russia is not a typical protest or isolated dissent. It's a slow-burning rebellion spreading through different layers of society: workers, soldiers' families, and even members of the elite. The patriotic narrative that once united the people has begun to unravel as the cost of war hits home. Mothers of soldiers are refusing to stay silent. Factory workers are striking after unpaid wages. Small towns across the country are experiencing shortages, inflation, and unemployment at levels no seen in decades. The Russian government has tried to hide these problems through propaganda, censorship, and fear. But even the strictest control cannot stop frustration from boiling over. The Kremlin's grip on information has weakened, as more Russians turn to independent media, VPNs, and foreign news outlets to find the truth about what's happening on the front lines. They see the staggering casualty numbers, the desperate mobilization campaigns, and the corruption within the defense industry. Many realize now that this isn't just a war for security, it's a war to keep Putin's regime alive. In recent months, videos and reports have surfaced showing Russian soldiers refusing orders, complaining about poor equipment, and questioning the motives of their commanders. These are things that, just a year ago, would have led to immediate imprisonment. Now, they are spreading faster than ever. Social media is full of voices saying, "Enough." Even pro-Kremlin influencers have begun hinting at dissatisfaction, subtly criticizing the leadership's failures without direct why naming Putin. This shows how deeply fear and frustration have reached every corner of society. The Russian economy is collapsing under the weight of sanctions and war spending. Factories once devoted to civilian goods have been converted to produce weapons, while consumer products have become scarce are unaffordable. Inflation has skyrocketed, and the ruble continues to lose value. The average Russian family now spends more on basic necessities than ever before, while state elites and oligarchs still live in luxury. The contrast between rich and poor has never been clearer, and resentment is growing rapidly. Young Russians, who once ignored politics, are starting to speak out. Many refuse to be drafted, choosing exile over fighting in a war they no longer believe in. The brain drain is massive. Doctors, engineers, and IT professionals have left the country in the hundreds of thousands. Those who remain are finding subtle ways to resist, refusing to cooperate with state propaganda, organizing local protests, or simply withdrawing from the state's patriotic events. It's not an open revolution yet, but it's a rebellion of silence and disobedience that terrifies the Kremlin more than open confrontation. Inside the military, morale has hit rock bottom. Reports from the front lines reveal that soldiers are not only poorly trained and under-equipped but also demoralized. Many are questioning why they are risking their lives for goals that keep changing. The Kremlin's promises of victory keep fading as Ukrainian forces push back and reclaim territory. The propaganda machine continues to show success stories, but the soldiers themselves know the reality. Videos of desperate messages to their families, begging to be brought home, have become heartbreakingly common. Even loyalists are beginning to question the leadership. Former officials, oligarchs, and media figures who once praised Putin are quietly distancing themselves. Some have fled abroad and are now speaking out. They describe a system in panic, one that can no longer control the narrative. The fear of betrayal has reached Putin himself, who is increasingly isolated. He trusts fewer people, reshuffles his security team constantly, and depends more on propaganda than actual governance. Meanwhile, protests, though still small and scattered, are becoming more frequent. Mothers of soldiers have emerged as one of the most powerful voices of resistance. These women are demanding answers about their missing sons and the horrific conditions on the front lines. Videos of them confronting officials and soldiers have gone viral despite government attempts to delete them. Their bravery has inspired others to question the government's lies. The image of strong Russian women standing up to power is deeply symbolic and strikes at the core of the state's fear-based control. There is also growing anger among regional leaders. Governors and local officials are under pressure to meet mobilization quotas and keep their regions stable, but many are struggling to do so. Some are quietly resisting, dragging their feet, or trying to protect their own people. The tension between Moscow and the regions is becoming more visible, suggesting that even within the system, loyalty is fading. For the Russian people, this war has become personal. At first, it was distant, something happening beyond their borders. But now, it has come home. Thousands of families have lost fathers, brothers, and sons. Cemeteries across Russia are filling up with fresh graves marked for the motherland. The grief and anger are overwhelming. State television can no longer hide the pain behind victory speeches. The illusion of glory has turned into a nightmare that no one can escape. Putin's attempts to restore control are becoming increasingly desperate. He has intensified propaganda, purged critical voices, and introduced even harsher laws against discrediting the army. But repression can only go so far. When people lose everything, they lose their fear. And that's what's happening in Russia now. The once loyal citizens are beginning to see that silence equals complicity, and they are choosing to speak out, sometimes at great personal risk. The rebellion taking shape is not a classic revolution. It's something quieter, more internal, but equally powerful. It's people refusing to participate in lies. It's soldiers refusing to fight. It's workers refusing to keep factories running for war production. It's teachers refusing to repeat propaganda in classrooms. This is how authoritarian regimes crumble. Not from a single dramatic event, but from millions of small acts of defiance that slowly erode their foundation. Across the country, underground networks of activists are re-emerging. Despite surveillance and arrests, they are organizing, sharing information, and coordinating safe protest methods. Many young Russians are learning digital security and anonymous communication to avoid detection. These movements might seem small now, but they represent the seed of something far larger, a society awakening after years of fear. The Kremlin's fear of internal rebellion is visible in its actions. The security forces are stretched thin, trying to suppress protests, hunt deserters, and maintain order in the face of economic collapse. There are growing reports of regional police refusing to carry out arrests or sympathizing with protesters. This kind of disobedience, even if limited, signals that the system is beginning to fracture from within. Internationally, Russia's isolation has also deepened. Once seen as a global power, it now stands increasingly alone, with even its allies questioning the sustainability of Putin's leadership. Sanctions continue to squeeze the economy, foreign companies have left, and diplomatic ties are eroding. The Kremlin blames the West, but ordinary Russians know that it is their own leadership that has brought them to this breaking point. As the war drags on with no end in sight, the Russian people are asking the one question the Kremlin cannot answer: what is all this for? The propaganda slogans about defending the homeland and fighting NATO ring hollow when people can't afford food or find medicine. When the cost of the war becomes unbearable, even the most loyal supporters begin to waver. There is a growing sense that the old Russia, the one built on fear, loyalty, and propaganda, is dying. In its place, a new generation is emerging, one that values truth, dignity, and freedom. They may not yet have the power to overthrow the system, but their refusal to be silent is already rewriting the future. Putin's greatest fear has always been losing control from within. For 2 decades, he maintained power by keeping people divided, distracted, and afraid. But now, the unity he built through fear is dissolving. Every broken promise, every lost soldier, every lie told on state TV is turning the people against him. The war he started to secure his rule may become the one that ends it. In the coming months, we are likely to see more unrest, more dissent, and more cracks in the system. The Kremlin will try to hide it, deny it, and suppress it, but it's already too late. The Russian people are waking up, and once that process begins, it cannot be reversed. History has shown that no regime built on fear can last forever. Moscow's war has turned inward, and the real battle now is not against Ukraine, but against its own people's anger, exhaustion, and desire for truth. The rebellion may not happen overnight, but it's happening right now, in the hearts of millions who have had enough. Thank you for watching till the end. What do you think about the growing rebellion inside Russia? Is this the beginning of the end for Putin's rule? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more updates on this developing story.